Hello, my name is Jack Silty,
And I'm Cheyenne Matschenbacher.
and we are both currently juniors at Detroit Lakes High School. And today we will be bringing you the Stock Up Paper Co. Financial Analysis Team presentation. The Stock Up Paper Company is a office goods supplier who supplies all kinds of office supplies to businesses throughout the United States. Up until last year, they have always been making a net income on their yearly profit and loss sheet. But unfortunately, last year, they recorded their first net loss of just over $41,000.
So again, StockUp did about roughly $60 million in sales in the last year with a net loss of about $41,000. We noticed that the warehouse expenses are way higher than what they should be. They also spent a lot of money on freight out and or shipping. And lastly, not a great deal of money was devoted towards their sales personnel. And we also have very high interest rates.
So here's our solution to attaining a net income in the coming year for the Stock Up Paper. Unfortunately, as last year came to an end, our relationship with our commercial shipper was weakened a little bit. And next year, we're going to have to raise our shipping expenses on the customer's end to cover our own shipping costs because of a 1.5% increase in shipping costs from our commercial shipper. So next year, we have projected a shipping expense of just about $750,000. And to cover this from our customers, we will not be able to use the same 2% of every customer order to cover this cost. Because last year, at 2% of every customer order, only $327,000 was made to cover our sales expenses. And if that happens next year, we have almost $500,000 for Stock Up to cover out of their own pocket just to break even on one expense. So Shannon and I were playing with the numbers, and we noticed that if we only raise it to 3%, that we won't even be close to covering our shipping expenses. At 4%, we'll be close, but not quite. But if we go to 6%, we will have covered our shipping expenses and then be able to reinvest the slight amount of money made on our shipping back into the warehouse and the shipping department of Stock Up Company so that they can become more efficient and cut down on their costs in coming years. We also chose 6% because if a customer orders only $100 of supplies, they'll pay $6 in shipping. Or if they order $1,000 in supplies, they'll only pay $60 in shipping, which relative to today's high shipping expenses, that is rather inexpensive. And also, the office goods that Stock Up does ship around the country tend to be heavier than the average shipment, costing them also more to ship.
All right, so the warehouse is having a lot of problems with being overcrowded and working overtime, especially in this day and age with COVID. That is a problem. So a way to combat this is we are going to be getting a box labeling machine. And with that, we will be able to be more efficient and also cut down on all that overtime pay. And then we are going to implement a 30-day billing period. Previously, it was 30 to 90 days. And we think that it's better to have just a 30-day billing period so it is exact and you know when you have to pay your bill. And then the 15% interest rate is going to be used as an incentive for customers to pay their bills. And 15% is really not that high because most credit cards are around at least 20 to 25% interest.
And also with this 30-day billing period, Stock Up will be able to rely on their own cash flow to cover their operating expenses during a fiscal period rather than relying on their local bank and having to pay interest on the money borrowed. With customers paying their bills on time, we will have an increased cash flow for Stock Up, in turn virtually eliminating their interest expenses for a fiscal period. And finally, Cheyenne and I have noticed that Stock Up is not delegating a lot of money to their sales personnel, which in turn does not allow them to effectively attack the market of the office supplies chains and effectively promote their brand in the workplace. So we believe that if Stock Up will raise their sales personnel expenses to $1 million, that with this new budget, they will be able to hire a more professional and experienced sales team and marketing team so that they can more effectively promote their brand and increase their sales in coming years, as well as building better relationships with their current customers.
All right, so in summary, We are going to increase the customer shipping fees to combat the high shipping costs. We are going to lower the warehouse expenses. We are going to implement a 30-day billing period to eliminate those outstanding customer payments. And we're going to be improving sales and marketing teams to increase the overall sales. We are going to devote more money towards the sales personnel to boost sales in the incoming year. And this is our plan showing our actual return from our projected of about $500,000.
So we have created a profit and loss sheet for the next year. And on this sheet, you'll notice that there's no freight out expense. So with our increased shipping rate, we have already eliminated our any shipping expenses for the coming year. And you also notice that with our new labeling machine, that our warehouse expenses have been cut down greatly because we have not had to pay overtime or hire as many new workers. And you also notice that our sales personnel expenses have been raised to $1 million so that they will be able to more effectively attack the business goods market. And finally, you'll notice that our interest expenses are down to just $5,000 because of our 30-day interest or 30-day payment plan with 15% interest for late fees. And all this together has resulted in a net income, just like Cheyenne said, of about $500,000. Thank you.